Start off standing in Samasthiti, equal standing pose. So we're stacking the joints on top of each other, crown of the head, over the shoulders, over the hips, the knees, and the heels. The weight goes more into the heel and the ball mound of the foot, lifting all the way up through the torso. Begin to lengthen and deepen the breath, slow and steady, Ujjayi breath, in and out through the nose. Each inhale drawing in prana, drawing in energy, peace and tranquility. Each exhale sending that prana out into the world so that you may be surrounded by it. So inhaling, drawing in that which you need. Exhale, send it out into the world so that you may be surrounded by it, so that everyone you come into contact with is touched by it, so that you are touched by it. Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching all the way up. Exhale, Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Remember, this first one might not be your prettiest. Inhale, monkey, lengthening the torso. Plant the hands down, step back. Either downward facing dog, right into down dog, or feeling a little bit looser, you can start off in plank. Pulling the heels back, pulling the chest forward, belly lifted. Exhaling, Chaturanga Dandasana, keeping those elbows right over the wrists. Inhaling, Cobra or Up Dog. And exhaling into Down Dog. And the first Down Dog, my regular students, you know this. Stretch the body however you need in that first Down Dog. You may need to sway the hips or bicycle the legs or reach a leg up towards the sky, maybe open the hip, whatever you need. Stay focused on the breath. But we're trying to just move the body however the body needs to move to remind us that this is a resting pose. This is a restorative pose. I know if you're still relatively new to the practice, it doesn't feel restorative. I know it doesn't for any of us in the beginning. I promise with practice it does. We're trying to lift the sit bones up and back. We're trying to widen the upper back, head of the humerus into the shoulders, external rotation of the upper arms, keeping the shoulders straight. Look at the hands. Step, jump, or lightly float, both feet forward. Inhale, monkey, scooping forward now. Exhale, Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching all the way up. Exhale, prayer. Again, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching all the way. Exhale, Uttanasana, bowing. Inhale, monkey. Plant your hands down, step, jump, or float back. Again, down dog or vinyasa into down dog. So again, widening the upper back, arms into the shoulders, external rotation of the upper arms. Head hands down. And check in with your ankles. We're trying to avoid a wrinkly ankle, not because we have anything against our ankles, but because we're trying to keep that buoyancy. We're not trying to jam ourselves into our joints. So can you bend the knees a little bit, lift the heels off the ground. Notice how wrinkle-free your ankles are. And then trying to keep that, bring the heels back down towards the ground. Notice how you need so much more lift to be able to do that. Notice how much more conscious you have to be with the entire body. You're probably feeling a little bit more lift through the armpits even. Look at the hands, step, jump, or float forward. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, Uttanasana, bowing. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching all the way up. And exhale, prayer. Keep going. And so when you're practicing at home,
The benefit of it is that you get to practice at home. You don't have to go anywhere. One of the benefits / challenges is that you also have all of the distractions of home. So you might have people walking in or out during your class. You might have dogs barking. You might have lots of things going on. And that's okay. Keep your attention focused on your breath, on your prana. Remember, life on the mat is the same as life off the mat. Distractions happen, things happen. It's how you handle distractions. If you were feeling a little bit more vigorous, you could, from down dog, go into turbo dog. We could bend the elbows down, squeezing the arms towards each other. Be careful that you're not rolling to the outside of the hands here. Push down through each of the knuckles of each of the fingers. And depending on how intense you want this to be, you could bend the elbows a lot, a little bit, not at all. You can even have the knees on the ground and do the same thing in our version of turbo dog called turbo table. Look at the hands. Step, jump, or lightly float both feet forward. Inhale, monkey. And exhale, Uttanasana. Let's stay in Uttanasana for a few breaths. We're trying to keep the feet a comfortable distance apart. Different styles of yoga say different things about how far apart they are. I ask that it's a comfortable distance and that the outsides of the feet are parallel to the sides of the mat. Typically for most folks, the toes have a tendency to turn in or out. We don't want that. We want the outsides of the feet to be parallel to the sides of the mat. And we want it to be even, the inner and the outer edges of the feet. So if you're a high arched yogi like me, not a high yogi, it's something totally different. If you're a high arched yogi like me, you have a tendency to roll to the outside of the ankle or outside of the foot. Flat-footed yogis, you collapse to the inside. We're trying to lift up through both. Notice that when you get that lift through inside and outside, the sit bones lift up a little bit more, the bandhas engage, we can hinge a little bit more at the hips. Arms, whatever variation feels best. Classical, big toe, underneath the feet, palms up or down. You can hold onto your elbows or even interlace the fingers at the nape of the neck. Whatever feels best. Keep the lift in both sides of the foot. And then while we're here, let's take a block. If you don't have a block, you can put some books in front of you. You can put a chair in front of you, whatever works best. Hands on something though, and then lean back slightly. So leaning slightly back. Our hips are not directly over our heels. Normally we like to stack the joints. We're not doing that now. We're imagining our bum on a wall, keeping both cheeks on the wall. We're just going to shift over towards the right, and then all the way back over towards the left. Just going back and forth. So what we're trying to avoid is this swinging, right? The bum stays on that imaginary wall, all the way over to one side, all the way over to the second side. Going back and forth. And notice where you feel this. Is it more in through the lower back? Is it in through the hip, the bum, the legs? Do you feel it evenly, right versus left side? Is one side more intense, or do you feel it the same amount of intensity, but in different places on the right and left side? Begin to notice these things. Notice how you use your body on the mat and off the mat. Now let's bring the feet a little bit wider apart, about mat distance apart. So hands still on the wall. Lean slightly back again. Those of you that are a bit taller than me, which is most likely most people, feel free to go a little bit wider as well. Lean slightly back, and then same thing, all the way over towards the right with the hips, and then all the way over towards the left. Notice the difference. Now you probably feel a bit more through the inside of the opposite leg. So when we shift towards the right, feel a bit more through the inside of the left leg, vice versa. Let's move the block to the side. Plant the hands down, bring the feet a little bit closer. Step back, down dog, or vinyasa into down dog, your choice. Stretch however you need to stretch in down dog. And when you're ready, child's pose. Ease yourself back up. Let's come down onto the ground. Let's start off with Ardha Matsyendrasana. Bring your left foot back by your right hip. Cross your right leg on top. And we're trying to get both cheeks to come down to the ground. You're probably more on your left cheek than on your right cheek, but we're trying to drop this right cheek down as well. If this is too much for this ankle, this left ankle, left leg goes straight forward. Easy. Right hand goes behind you. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale, come into the twist, gentle, starting off with the forearm, holding onto the leg. Lift as you twist. Notice that your hips are trying to get involved in the twist. We don't want that, so keep the hips pointing straight forward. Lift up, twist from above the hips. You can also focus on drawing the outer thighs in, getting a little squeeze of the legs towards each other, and that'll help as well. If you want to go a little bit deeper, by all means, arm can go to the outside of the leg. Notice as you start to go deeper into the twist, depending on how your holidays work, your belly may get in the way of the leg. You may have to lift the belly or pull the belly in and up, lean back a little bit, come into the twist. The belly and the leg are going to fight for space. The leg can't go anywhere, so the belly's going to have to move. If you wanted to go deeper still, you could. You could take this left hand or left arm to the outside of the leg, snake the arm underneath your right leg, and bind behind you. Lift as you twist. Remember, we need to make sure that we're getting the lift. So if you're getting the bind, but you're all hunched over, we don't want that. Lift and twist. Keep dropping this right hip down. Come back to the center. Let's ease into Gomukhasana with the legs. We're going to try to stack the knees on top of each other, bring the feet back by the hips. We're trying to get the feet equidistant from the hips. You can tell that this left foot wants to be a lot closer to the right cheek than the right foot does to the left cheek. But we want them to be equidistant. You may need to move the bum for that to happen. All right. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Now remember, we're not trying to come down. We're trying to get longer as we hinge right at the hips. So we could have the hands behind us. By our side, we can hold onto the legs. You could even bring the arms into Counteract arms, hook them around the knee. Use that to help pull you a little bit deeper into the pose. You could have the hands in front of you, whatever works best. But lengthen the torso. Keep dropping the sit bones down. Belly pulls away from the bum. Chest pulls away from the belly. Notice again, where do you feel this? How do you feel this? Start paying attention to what you feel when you're in the poses so that when you have injuries, not necessarily injuries, when you have issues going on in your body, when you have little aches, little pains, when you've been sitting for a long time, when you've been doing anything for repetitive, any kind of repetitive motion, you can start to learn what poses do you need to help heal your body. What do you need? What does your body need? Ease yourself back up. Unwind the legs. You can give them a little wiggle if you'd like. And then let's switch the legs. Let's bring the right foot back by the left hip. Left leg crosses over. We're trying to get both cheeks on the ground. When I come into this side, this left cheek much higher than my right. So I have to shift over a little bit. Keep trying to drop this right cheek down. This left cheek down. Even before I go into the pose, I can already feel the tightness. This side is much different than the first side. Left for me. Left hand comes behind you. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale. Come into the twist. Keep dropping this left hip down. Keep drawing the outer thighs towards the inner thighs. You may be able to notice how that gives you a little bit more space in the sacrum when you draw the outer thighs towards the inner thighs. Again, the belly has to pull in and up as you twist. You have to lean back a little bit. You can stay here with the hand or the forearm to the leg. You can go a little bit deeper, arm to the outside of the leg, more tricep. Keep lifting as you twist. Try not to let the hips get involved in the twist. You can go into the twisting bind. Keep lifting as you twist. Different styles say different things about where you should be looking in this pose. Some styles will say to look over the front shoulder. Some will tell you to keep the chin in line with the center of the chest. Some will say look over the back shoulder. They're all right, but they're not all right for every person on any given day. So find what works best for your neck. And come back to the center. Ease into Gomukhasana, cow's face. We're going to bring the left foot back by the right hip. Now you may notice I've got my Yoga Tonic balls nearby. If I were feeling really tight, I might stop, take one of my balls, roll out my bum, maybe my greater trochanter, see if I could loosen some things up. It might be my QLs that are a little bit tight. So you can always grab your Yoga Tunic balls and get to rolling. We're trying to drop both sit bones down. For me, this left one is up much higher. Keep dropping it down, lift the chest. As I exhale, hinge at the hips and forward fold. Again, hands can be behind you, by your side, on legs. You can take eagle. Use this to help pull you a little bit deeper into the pose. Hands can go in front of you, whatever works. Pull the belly away from the bum, the chest away from the belly. Keep breathing. So remember, each inhale, drawing in your prana, your energy. Each exhale, sending your prana, your energy, out into the world. Let it be a bubble that surrounds you. Every person you come into contact with encounters that bubble. that feeling of calm and tranquility. And that way we can help to change the world, one breath at a time. I know, a little kooky, but it's the truth. Keep dropping the left cheek down and keep lengthening the body. And ease yourself all the way back up. Unwind the legs. Give them a little wiggle if you need it. And let's come into Paschimottanasana. We're on the center of the heels, toes pointing up. I want you to imagine that there's a wall at the edge of the feet, or the feet are pushing against the wall. We're trying to keep the feet pushing against that wall evenly so that the pinkies don't push more than the big toes. High arch yogis, pinky toes try to push a little bit more. Flat-footed yogis, you're probably pushing through the inside of the foot a little bit more. We're trying to go even. Inhale, lengthen the torso. You can stay right here. We're trying to get that lift. If you're able, you can start to hinge at the hips. Hands, again, can be on the ground. Legs, the feet. You can hook a strap or a towel around your feet. Use that to help you get the length through the torso. A little bit deeper, you can take a block to the edge of the feet. The block is nice. It gives you a little bit more length. If you're able to go this deep, that's great. But it also is nice because you can see if you're pushing a little bit more pinky toe or big toe. It gives you a little bit of feedback. And forward fold. This is a great pose to practice right before bed. Just take the pillow, put the pillow on top of your legs. Let yourself rest. You know that the forward folds calm the central nervous system. And that's nice right before bed. It's nice during the holidays. Keep pulling the sit bones back, keep drawing belly away from bum, chest away from belly. And ease yourself all the way back up. Let's go ahead and come down onto the ground for a variation of happy baby and big toe clasp and spinal twist. So starting off, lying down on our backs. Let's take this right foot up for a half happy baby. We're trying to draw the knee down towards the ground, keeping the heel over the knee. And notice as I do this, oh my, notice as I do this, this left cheek is lifting off the ground, this left leg is lifting. And I know that most of the time we say, oh, it's got to stay down right there. Go ahead and let it lift. It's okay. We're just trying to draw the knee down towards the ground, keeping the heel over the knee. Then let's go ahead and straighten the left leg. Draw the right knee down. Straighten the left leg. Just keep going a few times. Let's add a little something to this. Straighten the left leg. Left hand takes hold of the right foot. Just more of a little rocking baby motion. Be careful with your ankle. We know that we don't want to splay the ankle. We want to keep the ankle straight. You may have to flex the foot a little bit to do that. Right hand holds onto the foot. Back down with the knee to the ground. Take hold of the right foot with the left hand. Bring it a little bit over towards the left side. Come back to the center, right hand. Knee comes down to the ground. Left hand over towards the left. Going a little bit deeper each time. Starting to straighten the right leg out to the side. More of a Supta Bhandusthasana.
Left hand, bringing the leg over for spinal twist. You can see how my hand keeps getting caught on my block. That's fine. If you want to go deeper, move the block out of the way. Notice the different sensations of the body. Notice where you feel the stretch, where you feel the ease. And then just staying here. Let go of the foot. Straighten the legs. Notice the difference right hip versus left hip. Ah, so open. This one just feels, this left one feels like it has a little bit of cement in it now compared to it. Switch the legs. Felt fine before we did this, but now I realize just how much tension and tightness there was. So bring this left foot into half happy baby. This is my tighter side, so I'm just giving it a little bit more time to ease into the pose. When you're ready, you're going to start to draw this left knee down towards the ground. Again, keeping the heel and the knee on top are stacked in line. My right leg bends a whole bunch more on this side. And then straighten the right leg. Knee down to the ground. Straighten the leg. Keep going. Let's take hold of the left foot with the right hand. A little bit of a rocking baby. Going slightly side to side. Take hold with the left hand. Half happy baby. Take hold of the foot with the right hand. Over towards the right side. To the center, left hand. Out towards the left. Back towards the center. And over towards the right. Keep going. Notice if you're going as deeply on this side as you did on the first side, or if it's a little bit looser, a little bit tighter. How does that translate into your daily life? Do you always sit with one leg crossed on top of the other? Do you always turn slightly at your desk or when you're on the couch watching TV? Do you turn slightly so one hip is always a little bit more open, one hip's a little bit tighter? Notice how can you bring a little bit more balance into your life, into your body. And coming back to half happy baby. And then straightening both legs. Notice how that feels. A little bit more even.
And let's get ready for Shavasana, final relaxation. If you have a block and your Yoga Tunic balls, you can bring the block underneath the head. Take the balls underneath the head on top of the block. Let's bring the block a little bit closer. Oh yeah. So that the balls rest at the base of the skull. You can slightly nod or shake the head. Oh, that feels nice. I'm not keen on my neck being like this with my legs straight. It tends to put a lot of pressure into my lower back. But you can bend the knees. That's nice. Let the knees rest against each other. Roll the shoulders down. Let the body be still. Let your mind be still. If any thoughts come into your head, let them be like clouds. Let them drift away. You don't even need to chase them. Slowly begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers, waking your body. If you're lying flat on your back, you can hug the knees in towards the chest, maybe rocking from side to side or making little circles with the knees. If you have a block and the balls underneath you, I wouldn't recommend pulling the knees in towards the chest unless you take the balls and block out first. Reach the right arm overhead on the ground, slowly roll over towards the right side. Let your head rest on your arm. Push down through the arms and ease yourself up till you're sitting comfortably. May we find peace in what we see, speak, and feel. May peace flow from our hearts to the world. From the world, may we bring peace back to our hearts. And through our energy, our prana, may we help the entire world find peace. Namaste. Thanks for joining me for class. You may have noticed the husband walking in and out. You may have noticed the dog on the couch having a little bit of nightmare. She's a very vocal sleeper. Yeah. These things happen in real life. Neighbors come by, phones ring, all that happens. So how do you keep your yoga practice when you're practicing at home? You just keep going. Distractions happen, things happen. Sometimes you'll be distracted by them. Sometimes your breath will be so deep that it doesn't even faze you. And both things are fine. It's always just practice. So it's just yoga. It means the world to me. I hope it means the world to you, but it's just yoga. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.